What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video with the Home Loan Homies. I'm Adam and I'm sitting here with Cody.
Have you ever wondered what a title company is or what they do?
Yes!
Same!
Today we're headed over to talk to Ashley at AmeriTitle.
Okay, we're here with Ashley Packer at AmeriTitle, and Ashley, we have some questions for you.
Sure.
So our first question is, what is a title company?
So a title company is kind of, I'm going to say the unsung hero a little bit in some of the transaction. We play a pretty quiet role. A lot of people, when they think about buying a home, are thinking about their real estate agent and their lender. But a title company is really going to be involved in every step of your transaction as far as doing a title search to make sure that the buyer's protected, that the seller can actually sell the home that they're selling. And we're checking for any liens, encumbrances, boundary line disputes, anything that could cloud title. Our title department does a thorough search. Once that's done, they're going to hand it over to your escrow team. And from there, we're kind of responsible for making sure that we follow the written instructions from your purchase and sale agreement. So we're closing the transaction according to how both parties have agreed to it, communicating with your lenders and your agents so that we can have a smooth and seamless closing.
Awesome.
Right on.
So what could happen potentially if somebody doesn't use a title company? What are some of the risks that you'd run into?
We've seen it happen. We've definitely had, it's typically usually some of your old family deals where property's been deeded over from one party to another, whether because it's in the event of a death or a gift from family or something like that. But we have had some instances where people go to sell thinking that they own the property. And once we do our title search, they realize that there was an error in the recording of a transfer deed. Or there were liens against the property that they had no idea existed and had never been released, whether it was in the form of a deed of trust or a mortgage, tax liens, liens in the form of a judgment. Even child support liens and Medicaid liens can actually cloud the title of a property, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Mm-hmm. So I guess for our first-time home buyers, without going super into depth on it, when you're saying liens, what would your basic definition for them be? For a lien? So
a lien is going to be really anything that can attach to the property. So typically they're recorded of public record, either against a buyer or a seller's name or against the legal description. So when our title department is going in and doing that title search, they're checking for those things. So like I said, it protects the buyer so they know what they're purchasing. And it also is going to show anything that the seller might not have been aware of prior to them, listing their property as well. But the most common type of lien you're going to see against a property is going to be a mortgage or a deed of trust from the seller's existing mortgage against the property, which needs to obviously be paid off in full through closing so that that lien can be removed for the new buyer.
Awesome.
Yeah, right on.
So when an individual is buying a home, they're going to look at their fee schedule or their fee list and see a lot of different fees.
Yes.
So we've got here a list of the title fees that would show up on a typical transaction. And what are those fees? What do they even mean?
Okay, so your standard fees from a title company, obviously they can vary from transaction to transaction, but they are based off of your loan amount if you're getting a loan, as well as the purchase price. So you're going to see a fee on there for your lender's title insurance policy. So if you have a lender involved, then you would see a fee in there. I'm just going to go off of the ones you have written, which are obviously pre-populated from a specific loan amount. But this one was $1,924. That is going to be a one-time upfront fee, typically paid for by your buyer. And that's going to cover the lender, just basically ensuring that they're in a first lien position on their property, that there's no other liens ahead of them in the event of a foreclosure or something like that. There's also a settlement fee, and that's so our escrow department can do our job here to communicate with the lenders and the agents to prepare all of the closing documents that are required, transferring the deed, all the things. And this specific one, again, that's based off of your purchase price. This one shows up as $555. There's also, if you have a loan, there's going to be a fee called a CPL fee if your lender requires one. And that varies on a case-by-case basis depending on if it's a requirement from your lender. But that is a set fee of $25. That's not one that is going to be based off of a purchase price. Endorsement fees. Title endorsements are basically additional coverages typically required by your lender. Sometimes the owners want some extra coverage as well. But your standard endorsements for a lender are $50. A lot of different ones can be requested and can be added on for additional fees as well. It just depends on what's required from the lender or from the buyer. Your courier or your wire fee, the courier fee is typically a fee that we just charge just to overnight the package back to the lender. So typically it's just a shipping charge is all that is. And then wire fees are pretty uncommon on the buyer side. We usually aren't wiring funds back to a lender or anything like that. If there were to happen, then that's usually just a set fee of $10. And then recording fees. So the recording fees are actually set by the county. $45 to record a lender's deed of trust or a mortgage, $15 to record a deed. There's various documents sometimes that are recorded in accordance with the transaction as well. Those are the two main ones that you're going to see. And an e-recording fee is basically $5 per document that's recorded with the county. And that's what they charge to essentially record those documents electronically. So we don't have to walk all the way down to the courthouse like we used to in the good old days.
Awesome.
Right on. So I guess last question to wrap everything up, like why a title company? What got you to this point? Why do you work for a title company?
So a lot of people essentially kind of fall into this business. This isn't something that you can specifically go to school to do. So a lot of people in our industry actually have started at an entry-level position at a title company, found out that they really like the day-to-day differences between file to file. It keeps things fresh and exciting. More importantly, it's really fun to be part of someone's business, biggest transaction in their life, buying a home. You make a lot of great relationships too with lenders and agents, but it's a really fun industry to be involved in.
Right on. Cool. Sweet. Well, that's Ashley Packer with AmeriTitle, and we appreciate you giving us some of your time to come in here and teach some of our viewers about the title side of everything.